Mentioned the shelter in place has been lifted for all students and individuals working or on campus there at Ohio State University, but all classes remain to be canceled here on this day as there was an active shooter situation with at least one person dead, and we're told several others injured after that shooting shortly before 10 o'clock this morning.
We've mentioned this several times. Allie, of course, is an alum of Ohio State. This is a driving campus, which is an unusual move. Most urban campuses have moved to this kind of walking campus only. But what's interesting is seeing this giant, urban, massive 65,000 person campus with no cars moving on it. But certainly that active shooter, the active shooter no longer an issue at Ohio State. At least 9 injured, as we've said there, 1 person dead. But again, the shelter in place has been lifted. I'm told we have Carver Nabb on the phone right now, who's also an Ohio State student. And Carver, tell me where you are and what you're feeling now that you know the shelter in place has been lifted.
Hi. Well, I am currently in my dorm at Ohio State. I'm looking out the window, and it's reassuring to know that the lockdown has been lifted. I'm watching a lot of people are just pouring out of the buildings. It seems like everyone has all gotten the news, so it's nice to know that law enforcement was able to get everything under control. It's just nice to know that everyone, or the majority of the students, are safe, and that everything is going to be all right from here.
Where are you in proximity to North Campus, and what is your story on this day? How did the sequence of events unfold for you?
Well, my dorm is located actually very near the Lane Tuttle parking garage. So it was a little bit freaky to see all of the law enforcement just taking control of the streets, telling everyone to clear the streets, and really locking down that area. What happened with me was I had woken up 2 text messages from Buckeye Safety saying that we needed to stay in our buildings, stay in our dorms, and that was about an hour before I was going to be heading to class. So I was glad to get those notifications in a timely manner so that I knew to stay inside and not exit the building.
And Carver, Allie Kramer here. I graduated from Ohio State in 2012, and I'm familiar with the area. What dorm are you in?
It is Mendoza House. It was formerly known as Neilwood Gables. I'm not sure when they changed the name. So.
Okay. And what's the population there? Are you with other first-year students, and how big is the dorm there?
I am with one other. There are some first-year students in the dorm. Most of them are second-year students for the most part. And then I'm sorry, I missed the last part of that question.
Well, and describe to me, you know the North Campus area very well, and all the buildings there. I mean, this is a heavily populated part of campus with all of the engineering buildings and the business school. Have you had classes up on North Campus?
Oh, yeah, frequently. A lot of freshmen, especially freshman chemistry classes, a lot of them, big lecture halls are held on North Campus, along with the engineering buildings themselves. They have very large lecture halls, so it's a very populated area. It's very dense with students. I mean, even now, as the lockdown's being lifted, you can see just there's a massive amount of students outside.
That's what you're saying, people just flooding the streets. Now, what will you do the rest of the day? You're in your dorm room right now, and classes have been canceled, but certainly you'll have to maybe go outside to get lunch, dinner, or later tonight. I mean, what's the feeling about maybe even leaving the dorm?
Right. For the most part, I mean, I would feel comfortable leaving the dorm and getting food and all that. I imagine, though, just to be safe, laying low, doing most of my work in the dorm room today instead of going to the library or one of the nearby buildings is what I would typically do. But I imagine that I would leave just to get lunch and then probably head straight back to the dorm.
Since most of us were in college, Carver, the advent of social media has cropped up. How quickly were you on, Twitter or even just texting back and forth between friends and certainly family to get either information in or information out?
Almost immediately. As soon as the Buckeye Safety text messages got sent out, it was kind of a frenzy, just getting different text messages from different people. There were things on social media popping up almost instantly. Like every time you refresh the page, there would be 4 or 5 new tweets, 4 or 5 new Facebook posts about the incident. So it was all the information was being delivered in a very timely manner. Like, it was all getting out there very quickly. It just caused for a little bit of confusion at times when different things got said by different people.
Which kind of conflicting information did you get?
It wasn't so much conflicting as it was, there were, like, early on, like, people were saying, oh, there's 2 or 3 injured people, and other times there were 7 to 8 injured people. So it was hard to know in the moment what exactly was true and what wasn't.
As this was going on, did you talk to other classmates or individuals in the dorm? What was the mood like? Was it calm? Was it nervous? Was it, you know, a sense of being scared at that moment?
I would say it was a little nerve-wracking, just knowing, because I mean there were definitely people that didn't have their phones on them at the time, so it was nerve-wracking to reach out to friends on campus and not receive any response and not know if they were okay or not.
What a day not to have your phone. Can you imagine? Like, you know, you feel bad anyway not having it with you, but what a day not to have it on a day like this.
Right, yeah, that would definitely be scary.
Well, Carver Nabb joining us once again. He is a Mason native who is currently a student at The Ohio State University. We appreciate the insight. We're glad you're safe. We're glad that the lockdown has now been lifted. And for the time being, that phase of this story is over with for you. Carver, thanks.